message slash focus in your campaign thus far?
Sure. So it's really four things. It's our roads and bridges, which we have a lot of issues with, some of which have not been addressed in over a decade. Secondly, it would be beautification, so continuing the good work of the town to beautify other areas of our town for our residents. Thirdly, it would be improving town communications, which is incredibly important. We're getting a lot of feedback from our residents that they don't feel like they're informed. And I think there's a lot of really practical, simple tools that we can implement in order to make sure that they are more informed. And then lastly is civic pride and connection. I want to make sure that the new families that are moving into the town of Arcadia Lakes feel welcome and have opportunities to gather.
And you kind of talked a little bit about this, but let's go more in depth about development. How will you tackle development if you are elected to the seat?
Right. So I think having relationships with our neighboring mayors will be very important. We want to make sure that we have committees, joint committees, and groups that are working together to make sure that whatever economic development opportunities there are, that they are to the benefit of all of the municipalities.
And then the next topic, safety, very paramount in any community. How will you tackle the issue of safety if you're elected to the seat?
Well, Arcadia Lakes is very fortunate in that we don't have a high rate of crime. But it's not just about statistics. I think developing relationships and strengthening those with our law enforcement officers to make sure that we have coordinated response times in the event that there is an emergency. But again, going back to that communication, having a neighborhood communication app where we can very quickly communicate with our residents about events and emergencies, I think are very important. When residents feel informed and connected, they feel safe, and that will definitely be a priority in my campaign.
And lastly, as voters head off to the polls, what is your last message to them?
I think it's about building a stronger community. Again, I want to go back to that civic pride. As neighbors, when we care about each other's well-beings, that builds community. So I want them to think of Arcadia Lakes as a second family.